So, good morning students. This prose is a nice cup of tea for 12th standard second unit prose. 12th standard second unit prose, a nice cup of tea by George Orwell. Okay. So, as usual about the author, you can know it from your textbook on the book back exercises about the author. Let us go into the lesson. Okay, a nice cup of tea. So it's a normal phrase, and when you think about tea itself, you will understand that it is not a simple component. It is used by millions and millions of people all around the world for getting some nourishment, to be energetic, to be active, okay, and to make our brain so active so that you work briskly. Okay, so particularly in the colder regions, they drink lots and lots of tea. But here, what George Orwell is coming to tell through this lesson is that he comes out to tell the way of making a proper tea. Okay, many drink tea, but some will not be satisfied. Okay, many of them will not be satisfied by consuming a proper tea. That is why throughout this lesson he has given some 11 points of making tea. Okay, so we can learn that, and he is giving 11 golden points how to make tea, particularly the England tea. England tea means the English tea, not Indian tea, the English tea. Okay, so let us go through it, and we will see how the suggestions are given by George Orwell. If you look up tea in the first cookery book that comes to hand, you will probably find that it is unmentioned, or at most you will find a few lines of sketchy instructions which give no ruling on several of the most important points. From the first stanza, first paragraph, if you look up tea in the first cookery book means what? A book which is meant for cooking, which gives lots of points how to make a dish, how to make a juice, a salad, or food, or anything. Okay, so that is what cookery book. But what he is coming to tell is, we rarely get some points how to make tea in a cookery book, and that is very curious. That's very interesting. Even if they have given, only sketchy points will be there. Sketchy points means what? Only 1 or 2, 3 points will be there regarding how to make a proper tea. Okay, next one. This is curious not only because tea is one of the mainstays of civilization in this country as well as in Ireland, Australia and New Zealand, but because the best manner of making it is the subject of violent disputes. This is curious. Of course, it is curious. Okay, interesting that people don't mind about putting points regarding how to make a proper tea. Okay, as it is one of the important mainstays of civilization in the country. Okay, everybody all over the world, they take tea. Okay, countries like as well as in Ireland, EIRE means Ireland. We have Ireland, Netherlands, like that. Okay, England, Scotland. So EIRE means Ireland. Okay, Australia and New Zealand. But because the best manner of making the tea is the subject of violent disputes. Disputes means what? Disputes means disagreements. We say debate, no? Disputes. It's a controversial thing that some agree, some don't agree. That is the thing. Some agree and some do not agree. That is what we say dispute, debate. Okay, like we say in Tamil, Pattimandram, or that is what? Okay, debate. So, what is a violent dispute? What is the debate here? Whether we are able to make a proper tea. Okay, so that is what the highlight of the thing. When I look through my own recipe for the perfect cup of tea, I find no fewer than 11 outstanding points. So he is coming out with his own suggestion. George Orwell is coming out, he is bringing out some 11 golden points, okay, not more than that, to make a proper tea. On perhaps two of them there would be pretty general agreement. Okay, out of the 11 points, 2 points everybody will go with me. Okay, everybody will abide with me, everybody will agree with me, but remaining at least 4 of them, but at least 4 others are acutely controversial. Remaining among the 11 points, okay, 4 of them will be controversial. Controversial means, once again I am saying, okay, acutely means what? Strongly, completely. Okay, some of them will disagree the points very strongly. Okay, controversial, it will be problematic, it will disagree, it will be a disagreement by many others regarding the way, regarding the suggestions given by George Orwell. Okay, others are acutely controversial. Here are my own 11 rules, every one of which I regard as golden. First of all, the first suggestion given by George Orwell is one should use Indian or Ceylonese tea. So he is giving first preference for Indian tea, so that we could be a little pride of that being an Indian, we produce the good quality of tea. Okay, so first preference is telling that it would be better if you consume, if you take Indian tea or Ceylonese tea. Ceylonese is nothing but Sri Lankan tea. Okay, it refers to Sri Lanka. It is giving first preference to Indian tea or Ceylonese tea. Next he is telling about China tea. Okay, China tea has virtues, it has characters, it has some qualities. Virtues means what? Some qualities, characters, qualities. China tea, okay, which are not to be despised. Despised means we cannot tell it that that is not good. Okay, it is somewhat good, that's all. Okay, which are not to be despised nowadays. It is economical and no one can drink it without milk. He is telling no one can drink that tea without milk. Okay, but there is not much stimulation in it. He is telling that drinking China tea would be not that much good. Okay, there won't be proper stimulation. Stimulation means what? Normally, generally when we drink tea, we become brisk. Okay, that briskness we fail to get when drinking China tea. Okay, stimulation. One does not feel wiser, braver or more optimistic by consuming China tea. One does not feel wiser or braver nor optimistic. What do you mean by optimistic? Mean being so positive, being so hopeful that we will, a spirit will be there. No, once we take tea, that spirit we will miss, while we will completely miss while intaking China tea. Okay, anyone who has used that comforting phrase, a nice cup of tea, once again it is invariably means Indian tea. Okay, anyone who has, if anyone is using the phrase a nice cup of tea, means they will go with directly that it would be a wonderful Indian cup of tea. So once again, invariably means what? No changing, constantly, no changing. Directly we can say that Indian tea according to George Orwell. Okay. Second point. Secondly, tea should be made in small quantities. Okay, it should not be made into a large quantity by using a large vessel. Okay, it should be made into a small teapot, very little level. Okay, it's low, very a small quantity level. Okay, tea should be made in small quantities, that is in a teapot. Okay, where only 4 or 5 can drink. Okay, that kind of amount of tea that should be made in a teapot. Tea out of an urn is always useless. Tea out of an urn means might be out of an urn means out of the boiling point. Taking out of the stove will not be good. He is telling, I hope he is telling that the tea should be boiling, and when we need a cup of tea, we have to take it directly and use it. We have to take it directly from the vessel, which is from the teapot which is boiling, and use it for our purpose. Tea out of an urn is always tasteless. While army tea is talking about army tea. Army tea, they make it out of a cauldron, because army tea there will be lot of members, okay, there will be lots and lots of members in army, so they cannot make tea in small teapots, so they ought to make tea in cauldron. Cauldron means a big vessel in India where they used to make rice, that is what cauldron, okay, a big basin. Okay, that is what cauldron, and that is how they prepare tea in army. And he is telling the taste of army tea will be like a whitewash, okay, a whitewashing powder which we use for painting, okay, whitewash smell and also grease smell. Okay, that is what the feedback given by George Orwell. Okay, so an army tea will be giving you a taste of grease or whitewash. Next, the tea should be made of china or earthenware. So here he is giving preference to china or earthenware. Earthenware means the teapot. Okay, the teapot should be out of china or earthenware. Earthenware means what? It is a clay. It is made out of clay. Earthenware means it is made out of clay. Okay, the teapot where the tea should be made, it can be either china or earthenware. Silver or Britannia ware teapots produce inferior tea. Silver, making tea from silver vessel or Britannia vessel produce inferior tea. We cannot get the proper nice tasty tea from making tea out of silver or steel, like that, a Britannia type of tea. And enamel pots are worse. Comparing to other wares, the enamel pots are completely worse. Okay, enamel pots particularly you might see in hospitals and all. One vessel will be there, white color vessel, that is what enamel pot. Making tea out of that enamel pot will be the worst tea according to George Orwell. Though curiously enough, a pewter pot is not so bad. So pewter pot, okay, he is telling in bracket, it is rarity nowadays. Nowadays we don't get that pewter pot. Okay, to know more about these pots, you can just Google it and see what kind of pots are there. Okay, so pewter pot is not so good, it's not so bad. So he is giving a suggestion that if we can use a pewter pot for an average tea drinking. Thirdly, the pot should be warmed beforehand. This is better done by placing it on the hob than by usual method of swilling it out with hot water. So normally I'll make it very simple for you to understand that when we take a flask to the tea shop, what does the tea master does? He takes the flask and he is pouring some hot water inside the flask and he is swilling. That is what swilling. Okay, swilling means what? Like rinsing. He is rinsing. So he is telling that we must not do like that. He is telling that we have to take the teapot, place it on the hob. Hob means stove. Okay, placing it on the hob and you have to light it and make it hot there itself. Okay, that is what he is saying. Thirdly, the pot should be warmed beforehand. This is better done by placing it on the hob than the usual method of swilling it out with hot water. Fourthly, the tea should be strong. Okay, it should be a strong tea. Strong tea means what? Where we use lots and lots of what? Tea powder. Okay, tea powder should be more than, okay, so more. For a pot, is giving for a pot holding a quart. If you are making around approximately, quart means what? Approximately a liter. If you are making a liter of tea, okay, what he is telling, if you are going to fill it nearly to the brim, if you are making tea and nearly if it is touching the brim of the vessel means what? The topmost part of the vessel. If you are making till that, he is telling you have to pour 6 heaped teaspoons. 6 heaped teaspoons or teaspoons full. Okay, teaspoons full of tea powder. Okay, you have to use 6 heaped teaspoons would be about right. That is what he is telling. If you are going to make 1 liter of tea. Okay, next, in a time of rationing, this is not an idea that can be realized on every day of the week. but I maintain that one strong cup of tea is better than 20 weak ones. In a time of rationing, when you are in a situation to control, rationing means what? Rationing means controlling the supply, where we might not where we might not have that quantity of making tea for many. So in the time of rationing, this cannot be possible for making tea. So, but what he is telling, one super proper tea, strong tea is equal to 20 weak ones. 20 which is not consumable, which is not nice one. Okay, one proper tea will satisfy you, will satisfy you than taking 20 cups of tea which is not useless. So you have to provide at least one cup of tea which is good. That is what he is telling. Okay, I maintain that one strong cup of tea is better than 20 weak ones. All true tea lovers not only like their tea strong, true tea lovers, everybody love their tea so strong, particularly when they are becoming older and older. The older and older they get, the more stronger and stronger they love the tea. Okay, the tea should be strong. The more they become old, the more the tea should be strong. That is what George Orwell has noticed. Okay, and how he is noticed is in ration, by having a view, giving statistics about the ration when people buy tea powder. Okay, all true tea lovers not only like the tea strong, but like it a little stronger with each year that passes, a fact which is recognized in the extra ration issued to the old age pensioners. Old age pensioners, old age people, they get lots and lots of tea powder, and that is how we can understand that the more old they become, the more stronger the tea should be. That is what they expect. Fifthly, the tea should be put straight into the pot. No strainers, muslin bags or other devices to imprison the tea. The tea, once we have made the tea, what he is telling is you have to put it straightly into the pot. There should be no filters, okay, no strainers, okay, no strainers. Strainers means what? Strainers means filters. We should not block the tea. The tea leaves. That is what he is telling. You must not block the tea. Okay, you must no strainers, muslin bags. Muslin bags means nowadays you might see that they are giving one bag, and in that bag there will be some tea powder, and we have to dip it inside the milk. In India we see that they will give one cup of milk, and they will give one tea bag, small bag, and we have to dip that. We say it as dip tea. Okay, so we have to dip that. That is not, I don't think so. That won't be that much good. Okay, so that is why he is saying no muslin bags, no other devices to imprison tea. In some countries, what they are doing is, in the teapots are fitted with little dangling baskets under the spout. Okay, dangling baskets means from the opening of the spout. Okay, if teapot is there means the spout means what? Where the tea is being poured, where the tea is coming outside. What they do, they block that opening. They block that opening using what? Some dangling baskets. In order to imprison the tea leaves. Okay, the waste material as we consider. Okay, the waste, in order to block the tea, in order to imprison the tea, they do in many countries dangling bags. Okay, dangling baskets, which is suspending. Dangling means what? Dangling means hanging. Okay, moving. Okay, to imprison the tea. Actually, one can swallow tea leaves. What the author is saying, one can swallow tea leaves, which is not that much harmful. Okay, little bit. Actually, one can swallow tea leaves in considerable quantities without ill effect. It is not going to affect you or going to bring you a great effect by consuming tea leaves. Okay, if the tea is not loose in the pot, it never infuses properly. Okay, the tea leaves, if it is not infused, if it is not mixed inside the pot properly, then it is not going to be nice. That is what he is saying. Sixthly, one should take the teapot to the kettle. One should take the teapot to the kettle, not the other way out. We must not take the kettle to the tea. Okay, that is what he is saying. We must take the teapot to the kettle. On only one point why he is telling is the tea should be hot. Okay, it must not waste time, because if we waste time, the essence, the tasteness would go away. Okay, that is why he is saying, sixthly, one should take the teapot to the kettle, not the kettle to the teapot. The water should be actually boiling at the moment of impact. The water should be boiling. When we make the tea, the water should be boiling simultaneously. Okay, simultaneously the water also should be boiling, the tea should be boiling. Both the tea and the water also should be boiling. You might be thinking what sir is telling. Once again I am telling you, it is not an Indian tea, it is an English tea. English way of making tea, because that is how they make tea. Okay, they make milk separately, they keep milk separately, then they keep hot water separately, then they keep the tea powder, which is tea cashin, we say, no, that separately, and three of them they mix it afterwards, and then only they consume. So that is why, in order to make the tea very hot, the tea should be boiling, and also the water also should be boiling simultaneously, all together at the same time, in order to maintain the heatness. Okay, the water should be actually boiling at the moment of impact, which means that one should keep it on the flame while one pours. While one is pouring the tea, it should be boiling, the water should be boiling. Some people add that one should only use water that has been freshly brought to the boil. Okay, but I have never noticed that it makes any difference. But some people say that we should be adding fresh water, but the author is not agreeing with that. He is telling that it will not give it is not going to make a big difference. So 6 points we have seen, and remaining points we will see in the next class. I hope you understand. Please go through the textbook, read it line by line, so that you would understand still more better. I will see you in the next class.